Yo, what is going on, guys? This is PVZ Fabmaster, and today we are going to be editing some more, fixing up, so to speak, some more strategy decks. And we're going to do some zombie decks this time. I'll start with one of my favorite zombie heroes, Neptuna. Now, this is a gravestone deck, and it's just, it's just a mess. It needs some fixing, so we're going to fix it up. We're going to create ourselves a custom deck and make Gravestone Neptuna great. Again, I guess. So anyway, not sure exactly what these things are doing in here. Of course, Swashbuckler and Sumo, you want those. Smelly Zombie, I prefer Landscaper and this Line Dancing Zombie, and you really want your Going Viral. That's a very good card in this sort of deck. If we're making a full-fledged Gravestone deck, you want your minions to keep on attacking. Not only is Pogo a great thing to have in there to keep your minions attacking, but Going Viral is quite good as well. So we have that. Now all we really need, it's mostly still pretty good, this deck actually. Just need some, what does this deck need? Environments, there we go. So what this deck needs is a few of these. And maybe add a few Plank Walkers as your finish. I guess that could have synergy with Swashbuckler, so there you go. That's a pretty standard Gravestone deck right there. I mean, not much else to say about that. You play your Headstone Carver on 1, try to buff it, your guys on 2, and then 3. Get a Going Viral play that might be good. Your Raccoon guys, your environments. No real set 3 cards here. Maybe you could put in, of course, Gondola instead. That might be your finisher if you have those, which I happen to be lucky enough to have 2 of them, so that could actually be a better finisher than Plank Walker. Oh wait, I just realized there's 41 cards in this deck. Take out like a Rolling Stone or something. There you go. Now there's 40 cards in this deck, so there you go. That is how Gravestone Neptuna should be done. No frickin' screen door zombies or whatever. Just keep everything nice, crisp, and clean. So anyway, next deck we got is sort of a Sports Imps hybrid deck, I think is what they're going for here. So it's basically a sports deck, and I mean, Toxic Waste Imp, I don't know if it's quite necessary for the sports deck. And I don't know why they have 3 sports coaches. If it's a full-fledged sports deck, then, I mean, there should be 4 frickin' All-Star Zombies or Cosmic Sports Star. That's a very good Conjuring card, actually. So maybe, I mean, that could have some synergy with, what's his name? I don't know if we're going to actually be putting Dr. Space-Time in here, though. So anyway, this deck is a mess, so we're going to have to fix it up. Now, Arm Wrestler Sumo is a very good combo, but unfortunately this deck fails to realize that this is a sports zombie, and it's a very good sports zombie, so we're going to have to put some of those in there. Warlord, I mean, it's a good card, and I wish I had a lot of copies of it. Maybe Stompadon would be good in this deck. I don't have any Stompadons. I think Stompadon would be good in just about any deck, to be quite honest with you. But anyway, what we're looking for here is more environments. 2 isn't enough. 3 probably is, though. Maybe a few Rolling Stones just to for some early game removal there. So there you go. There's that. Put another Cosmic Sports Star. I wonder what good set 3 cards would be in here. Wonder what set 3 cards would be good in here, I should say. Maybe, I don't know if I can make this like a professional sports synergy deck. I don't know if that would quite work out here. Maybe if you're going for a more budget deck, well, there's a lot of super rares in here, but if we're going for a good budget deck card, I think is, what's the thing I'm looking for? This guy right here. Gives all your zombies +2/+2. I like that card. I don't have 4 copies of it. We're going to put that in there instead of that, because it could really buff up your minions. And speaking of buffing up your minions and keeping them attacking, Going Viral, very good card. So actually what we're going to do there, here, and we're running a little high on cards here. So, I don't have 4 of either of these cards. It's very weird that I don't, but I think defensive end is still a very legitimate option in terms of that game, late game right there. So, how exactly do I want this deck to work out here? Get rid of these, maybe, I don't know. We have Pogo, that's removal right there, so. And, get rid of, Okay, just imagine I have like a 4th one of these Yetis right here, and then you're good to go. So, I feel like that could be very good for evolving off maybe like a little 2-2 right here, or this 2-3, or an arm wrestler or whatever. And I feel like that could actually be quite good, buffing all your cards up, which is kind of what you want to do with this deck. So, that would be my variant of a sports deck for Neptuna. Don't have to hybrid it with imps or anything. Maybe I will do an imp deck. None of these are like a full-fledged imp deck, so I might show what an imp deck might look like. So anyway. Next deck is a face deck, I believe, Out of the Way. So this is your whole anti-hero face swarm deck. Very interesting strategy with Neptuna. So, the way Neptuna works is you can get a lot of your cards out of the way or in the way for arm wrestler or whatever, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this card. I should really recycle them, but whatever. I don't even care. So, anyway. This thing, it's not a face card. We're looking to make this a full-fledged face deck. Now, I've recycled the Walrus card. I don't think it's that good. Even in a face deck, it's not that good. This card, however, is a very good face card. This card might be interesting. Let me read about it. This could bounce a plant out of the way. Now, it's not as good as Pogo, because Pogo's very sneaky about how it bounces things. However, Pogo can bounce something you play on turn 4. This could bounce the thing after it's been played. So it could have done some damage, but it could be bounced anyway. The plant would have to replay it. I mean, I don't know. It's just not as good as Pogo, but maybe with its whole strike through and deadly, it can actually be quite good in a face deck environment setting / whatever. So we've got 4 smoke bombs. That's maybe a little bit overkill right there. Got smoke bombs, got black holes. I think arm wrestler as a warranted place in here, because you're wanting to get those things attacking, or get that like buffed up from the sumo wrestler. Just get everything in that lane there. What cards would work well in this deck as a finisher? I like this. These are good amphibious cards. Strike through, of course, with the plank walker can go face. Maybe just another black hole and a smoke bomber. Huh. Maybe add a couple of fire roosters for some early control. Fishy imps. Something like that. You put something like that in there, and I think you got yourself a pretty solid face Neptuna deck. No Pogo mixed up Gravedigger. That actually might be something you might want to add in there. But that is my face deck as it stands there, so if you have some critiques of it, let me know in the comments. I'm sure you probably think Pogo mixed up Gravedigger. Now, I've gone over these kind of, and I think Return to the Grave is mostly just another Gravestone Neptuna kind of thing. But anyway, Dark Gargoliths. Now, I don't have a lot of the cards you'd need for this deck, but I'm going to try and fix this thing up anyway. I could see it's a Gravestone deck combined with Gargs, but the way, I don't know, you want to kind of ramp into these Gargs. Now, of course, you do that with Gargologist, which I have 0 copies of, but actually I think I might have already kind of made a deck based on this that I might complete if I ever get Gargologist or whatever, so I called it the Dark Lith. So here it is, the Dark Lith. So the way this deck works, I don't have 4 defensive ends, I only have 3. and I don't have 4 of these, and I don't have 4 Gargologists. So that's literally everything I'm missing from this deck. But instead of making it a gravestone strategy early, I made it all about control. All about control, pretty much. Control with your line dancers, your pogo, all that good stuff. The pogo can actually make sure these things hit through, because these are your big beasts. And the way control decks work is ramp decks work is they're often control decks as well, I think, because you're trying to ramp into these Gargs. Play maybe this on turn 3, of course, after you play your Gargologist. This is a good environment for like hiding your Gargologist. This is a good environment for like forcing the plants to play in a lane where the Gargologist isn't, because you could play your Black Hole on turn 1, play the Gargologist somewhere else, and the plants will plant something and it will go into the Dark Hole, leave your Gargologist alone. Of course, if you're playing against the Kabloom hero, it's probably going to get Berry Blasted, so that's why we're running these. But you got your 4 Fire Roosters. That's good control as well. Could become a 4-1 after this, so Rolling Stones, some control as well. And of course, you just try and win with your Gargantuars afterwards. They keep hiding in their gravestone, get their abilities back. Hopefully Pogo and maybe Neptuna's power encrypted, or possessed, actually, not encrypted, possessed, can give them some frenzy. Maybe, I mean, if you want to add going viral to this deck, I mean, that could certainly be a good option as well. So that is basically how I'd run the Dark Lith, a Neptuna Gargantuar deck. So delete that and delete that. So anyway, let's get right into a different hero. Let's get right into a different hero that we are going to critique here. Why not pick my man Professor Brainstorm? So I haven't really looked at his deck, so I'm kind of going to do this improv, but look at Scientific Exploration. So this is a science deck, as I can see. I mean, Zombot Drone Engineer is a 1/4 now, so I think that's quite good. We got this thing here. It's kind of dependent on RNG. I've never really had IDZ, but Interdimensional Zombie, but I've tried in the daily challenges. I don't think it's that great. I do not think it's that great, to be quite honest with you. And this deck's a little bit of a mess, but I think we can fix it up. So, we want good science synergy here, right? So, not sure. So this deck needs 1-drops, right? This deck needs 1-drop since we don't have IDZ. So, I think a good 1-drop that has synergy with the science here would be Disconaut. They could really give all your little science minions that extra little oomph there. With that, just 2 of these environments. I'm not sure. I think a good environment for this deck would actually not be that, but this right here. Have a lot of little 2 and 1 and 3 drops, but if they like turn into something of a higher cost, that's when we're starting to get into some good stuff there. So of course you're trying to buff them up with your Drone Engineer, but when you get like higher cost zombies, it's just better, obviously. Space Cadet, it's just not that great. Rockets, get rid of this. I'm not sure what it's doing in here. We want to make this a science deck, so Electrician. Get those involved. Chickening, I'm not sure why that's in there. So, what else? What are some good set 3s? Set 3 cards, set 3 cards. I wonder if is Frankentuar a science card? No, it is not. Let's look at science cards. What are some good science cards for this deck? Okay. So here's our science cards. Science cards of the crazy class. I wonder. Should we find a way to put more environments in this deck? Go with our, let's see if we can do that. Get rid of these. Overshoot. Overshoot might be good. Overshoot could help the overshoot environment. I like that, actually. We're gonna put in I have 3 copies of this overshoot environment, so we're gonna do that. That could be very good for your little neutron imp here. So that could help him do a lot of bonus attacks since we're running 6 environments now at this point. So that's a pretty decent amount, which I think neutron imp could be quite good, like I said there. So actually, the way I want to do things to round off this science deck, of course, overshoot could also be good with bullseye. It could be good for buffing with the drone engineer. So overshoot is quite good here, I think. And just if I don't want to craft it right now, I want to save up these sparks for maybe some sweet legendaries. So, but basically, the way I'd finish off this deck is with the 4th neutron imp to really combo with these, and Gadget Scientist could really be a finisher here. So this is my version of a science deck. This for the card draw, I guess, and it's also some card draw here, so it's a decent amount of card draw. Want to have nice card draw, and you got it right here with your scientific exploration. So this is my revised version of a science deck. There you go. Changing it up from the PopCap version. So anyway, Fast and Furious. This I'm assuming is your OTK Valk, yeah. So OTK Valk, we're gonna do it right now, and we're gonna replace it with Zomblob. Okay, now we're actually gonna make an OTK Valk deck, even though Zomblob is quite a bit better. So you are right in wanting these two to start off your frickin' thing, but. Get rid of these, get rid of these, get rid of these. Now this is very good. You might really want to have a lot of copies of that. Now for a freaking deck that features Valkyrie, you want to destroy your cards, obviously, so. Okay, well actually, I'm going to keep that. I probably want 4 of these in your deck, actually. If I had 4, I'd put them in, but. Alas, I do not have 4. So, maybe we can make a combo deck, or not a combo deck, or I'm thinking maybe we can make a deck, a hybrid deck, that's the word I'm looking for, between Zomblob and Valkyrie. Now, the way it stands, we want more of these, so. 43 cards, so that's what we'd be at this point. Maybe it's not good to have this, I don't know. How many minions would this be? It wouldn't be enough for, well, this could be a good thing to get that just dies earlier. You buff your Valkyrie up. Maybe the mistake in this deck is Plumber. You want your final mission. So I'm not sure how this deck would really perform, but I don't know if it would perform well. But it's basically a hybrid between your OT. You got 2 win conditions here. You got your Valk. It's good to have 2 win conditions. So you got your Valk. You got your Zomblob. You got this to kill all your minions if you actually get your frickin' Valkyrie. Plus it could do 4 damage, so that's quite good there. This to ramp into your Zomblob. This, if you have 4 copies of it, good for you. That could get your stuff all teleported in. If you don't get your teleport, bonus attacks for these finishers. And of course this combo as well with this, and it draws for your deck, so. That is how I'd do OTK Valk. I'd also include Zomblob, basically, so there you go. That is Feast and Furious, as PopCap calls it. Nice, crisp, clean deck. Tricks of the trade. Now I'm not an experienced trickster player because I only have 2 tricksters. I don't have 4, but I will go ahead and judge PopCap anyway and say that this is not a perfect trickster deck. So, the way you want to make a very good trickster deck is with tricks, obviously. So, let's make sure that all the tricks of this deck are quite Fabulous. Anyway, the way I think this deck should be done is binary stars. Actually, get rid of the barrel. Get rid of this. I have no idea what this is doing in here. You're not trying to teleport minions in or anything. And really, the only minions we want in this deck are this, this, and this. In fact, what would be environments we might want? Would we want to run the Brain Vendor and Medu and Nebula combo? Maybe. Maybe we would. What environments would we run? I think that's what we do. That's what we do. So let's do this. Let's do... Where's Brain Vendor? This. So. Okay. Now, binary chickening is one of my favorite plays now. It's been very good for me, so. This is not very good. I mean, for your ramping, you want this and this. And you want four of each of these. Unfortunately, I'm left a little dry there. I need 2 more tricksters and 1 more binary, so I need to get rid of 1 card here. I'll get rid of a chickening, I guess. So pretend that I have 4 binaries and pretend that I have 4 chickenings. And basically that is the deck right there. So you got your plumbers for some early removal. Actually, maybe final mission. Final mission, forget it. We don't have enough minions for that. So you have your plumbers. I mean, all your damaging cards could be very good with the binary stars, so that's kind of why we're running them. Running this for hard removal, card draw to get your finishers, this just to activate your trickster. I mean, a binary to a trickster, I mean. That's how you do a trick deck now, I think, for Professor Brainstorm. If you want to have a trickster deck, you better be comboing it with this good old card right here. 12 damage. So literally, if you have this thing, teleport, do a bonus attack with this guy on the board, and you're doing it in an empty lane, that's 24 damage, and it could be lethal right there. So it's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So that's how I do that deck, and we'll get right out of it. It's kind of a copy of what Fry 'em Up did. He's done a binary trickster deck before. It can come back really far. I've seen him just make an incredible comeback, like live one of the stream, and it's just amazing. So let's look at this one. This is a dancing deck, I believe. Binary dancing deck. Okay. Okay. So we got ourselves a Professor Brainstorm dancing deck. You know what's very weird? I don't see what's that card called? That's the card. I don't see Moonwalker. That's a brainy dancing card that I don't see here. It's very weird. And we see this thing instead, and I don't know if there's any value for that. Okay. So, as I said, we want to put Moonwalker in this deck. It's very good, actually. So, where are you, Moonwalker? Where is it? No, here you go. That could be a 4/4 on turn 3. Quite good, quite good. So, I don't know if you really want to kill your guys. You want to swarm the board here, so I think plumbers are better. And, hard removal. Do we need it? I guess, but we'll see. Okay, so this very good with your binary stars. So this is mostly a crazy class deck, but that's really how dancing decks work anyway, so maybe you do want this for hard removal. So you got your typical dancing way to start things off. What good set 3 cards would be in here? What impact does set 3 have in this particular deck? Maybe. Wonder if this is good to make the deck more aggro. Get them sugary treats going. If it's an aggro deck, you gotta have some sugar. Sugary treats. Maybe the way that this ends right here is you just imagine I have a third copy of this and a fourth copy of this and this. And like I said, it's a crisp, clean deck that I like. You just have 4 copies of each card and you roll with it. So I think that's how I do Dancing Brainstorm right there. Binary and Flamenco just to finish them off with that, of course. Bullseye, all good stuff. This to make your guys grow really long and of course grow really big. And Plumber just to for some removal. That's how I do that deck, I think. Maybe find a way to put some rockets in there. I'm not sure. So get rid of that. And Train of Brains, I think this is your Zomblob deck here. Yeah, so we're going to help out the Zomblob and then we'll get right out of here. So this is a full-fledged Zomblob deck. Forget about Valkyrie or anything like that. We're not going to call it Train of Brains. We're going to call it OP. Okay, there we go. Anyway, pop. There we go. So, unnecessary. Oh, that's actually necessary. If I had 4 copies of that card, I'd be running them in all my blob decks. Unnecessary. Necessary. You want a 4th blob. I mean, come on. Come on, man. Up there we go. There it is. So there you go. And here. Nope. Here. This, of course, combos very well with this. Could evolve off of that and place your Zomblob on it. And, oh yeah, here. And if you're going to make this a full-fledged Zomblob deck, you know what you better have? Some card draw. So we're actually going to run 4 of these Fun Dead Razors. And then just imagine I have those frickin' teleportation zombies. And there's your full-fledged Train of Brains Zomblob OP deck. There you go. So that is how I'd edit strategy decks. I hope you've enjoyed this video of me editing strategy decks. This is PBZ Fab Master. Bye-bye.